Остается что?
Good day, dear colleagues and all guests. Today's meeting of the Dissertation Council established for awarding the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, PhD, in the educational programs 6002 1300 8D02 303 Linguistics, 6002 8D02 Foreign Languages, 8D01 Foreign Language, two foreign language, 6D02 00, 8D02304 Translation Studies Al-Farabi Kazakh University, National University, Almaty, 33 January 45. Dear members of the Dissertation Council, dear participants, let me announce the members of the Dissertation Council present at the meeting. The Dissertation Council consists of 8 members. Our members, Anna Fazılcan, cannot attend as she is on the business trip from Astana. All 8 members are present at the meeting. Ravshangul Avakova, Chair, Doctor of Philological Science, Professor, Albina Dosanova, Deputy Chair and PhD, Associate Professor, Kamal Aldasheva, Academic Secretary, PhD, Associate Professor. Holders of qualification in the educational program 8D02 306 Philology, Western Language are present. Today, temporary members of the Dissertation Councils are attending the defense of Kazanova Mulder, who has submitted her dissertation for the degree of Doctor of Philology PhD in the specialty 8D02306 Foreign Philology, Western Language, on the topic function of transformed idioms in publicistic text based on the national corpus of the English language. The temporary members of the Dissertation Council are Metin Ekici, PhD Professor, Ege University, Izmir, Turkey. Isenova Kalbiki Ömürbayqızı, Doctor of Philological Science, Professor, Abay Kazakh National Pedagogical University, Almaty, Kazakhstan. Kuptaneva Kulbash Balababovna, Candidate of Philological Science, Associate Professor, Bayeshov University, Akhtube, Kazakhstan. I declare the meeting of the Dissertation Council open. According to the attendance sheet, and members of the Dissertation Council are present at today's meeting. There is a sufficient quorum to open the meeting. Are there any objections? No. No. On today's agenda is a public defense of the dissertation submitted by Hасановой М.Т. for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, PhD, in the specialty AD 02306 Foreign Philology, Western Language, in the topic Function of Transforming Idioms is publicistic text based on the national corpora of the English language. The dissertation was completed at the Department of the Foreign Philology and the Translation Studies of Al-Farabi Kazakhstan National University. Domestic Scientific Advising. Süleymanova Eleonora, Doctor of Philological Science, Professor, Al-Farabi Kazakh National University, Almaty, Kazakhstan. Foreign Scientific Advising. Guzman Tirada Rafael, Doctor of Philological Science, Professor, University of Granada, Granada, Spain. Official reviewers. Islamova Aybarsha, Doctor of Philological Science, Professor, Kazakh Ablahan University of International Relations and the World University, Almaty, Kazakhstan. Islamova Fariza, PhD, Kinjigari Sagadiev University of International Business, Almaty, Kazakhstan. The dissertation is being submitted for difference for the first time. All required documents related to the dissertation have been published on the official website of the dissertational councils. All members of the dissertation council have the relevant materials on the dissertation at their disposal. The defense is being conducted in a live online broadcast format via the internet. When the dissertation council holds a meeting in the forum of a video conference, the following procedures are ensured. Visual identification of all participants. Under an interrupted video and audio transition of participants' speeches via the internet. Video and audio of the meeting. Confidential secret avoided by the members of the dissertation council. Participation of the official reviewers and the temporary members of the dissertation council in the defense is mandatory. Are there any recommendations reading the addendum? No. If here is no any, I will pass the approval of the agenda to the vote. Who is against? No. Who abstains? No. Who is in favor? All. The addendum is approved by consensus. Now, I give the floor as the academic secretary of the dissertation council, PhD, Associate Professor Kamar Aldashova, the present the candidates biographical information and the documents from here personal file.
Dear members of Dissertation Council, the documents of candidate Hassanova М.Т. registered with the Dissertation Council as follows. The first candidate's application for admission to the dissertation defense was approved by the Dissertation Council on 18 December 2025 and recorded in the registration journal. The dissertation bound and on an electronic medium information about the doctoral student Hасанова М.Т. nationality Kazakh, born on August 20, 1991 in Aktau. In 2013, she graduated from Al-Farabi Kazakh National University with a bachelor's degree in foreign philology. In 2015, she graduated from Caspian Technology and Engineering University named after Yesenov with master's degree in Kazakh language and literature. From 2023 to 2025, she completed the professional curriculum of doctoral studies at Al-Farabi Kazakh National University under the educational program 8D02306 Foreign Philology Western Languages. She currently works at AVC company as a translator. A copy of the transcript of the professional curriculum approved by the educational institution, reviewers of local and foreign scientific advisors, a copy of the visit sheet and the minutes from the extended meeting of the Department of Foreign Philology and Translation Studies at KAZNO, whereas the proposal for the defense and a positive conclusion were approved by the Vice Rector for Science and Innovation of Al-Farabi Kazakh National University. And the reviews of the official reviewers and a certificate from the National Center for Scientific and Technical Information, a certificate of submission of the dissertation and its annotation to the Library of KAZNO, and a copy of the minutes of the meeting of the Academic Council of KAZNO on the approval of the dissertation topic and the scientific advisors. Next, list of scientific publications signed by the Scientific Secretary of the Faculty of Philology and of the Kazakh National University and their copies. A total of 10 scientific papers has been published based on the materials of the dissertation, including 2 Scopus indexed journal article, 4 articles in journal recommended by the Committee for Quality Assurance in Science and Higher Education of the Republic of Kazakhstan, and the 4th conference proceedings in international and republication scientific collections. The documents submitted by candidate Hасанова М.Т. fully meet the requirements of the rules for awarding degrees of the Committee for Quality Assurance in the field of Science and Higher Education of the Ministry of Science and Higher Education of the Republic of Kazakhstan. Thank you.
Thank you, Kamar. Dear Council members, do you have any questions for the Academic Secretary regarding the candidates' personal file? No questions. The floor is given to the doctor's candidate, Hасанова М.Т, to present the content of the dissertation reach. The time limit is 15 to 20.
Thank you.
Сәлеметсіздер ме, құрметті диссертация кеңес мүшелері, профессорлар, докторанттар және Менің аты жөнім Хасанова М.Т. Біздің диссертациямыздың тақырыбы Functional Transformed Idioms in Publicistic Text based on the national corpora of the English language. Бұл диссертацияны ағылшын тілінде жазғандықтан ағылшын тілінде құруға рұқсат етіңіздер. My local scientific consultant is Professor Suleymana Elena Rodiselna and a foreign scientific consultant, Professor Guzman Rafael Tirado. We divided our dissertation work into three parts. The first one is theoretical background of investigation. The second one is empirical investigation of idiom modification in media discourse. And the third one is corpus-based analysis of idiom transformation in media discourse. The first one, we covered all the history and the theory part of transformed idioms, not only English, British English and American English, but also we decided to cover Russia and the Kazakhstani authors. Because a lot of people might ask questions like, you are defending your dissertation in Kazakhstan, does it relate to Kazakhstan or not? That's why, in order to respect, we decided to cover the main parts, the history development of phraseology in Russia and Kazakhstan, distinguishing some kind of differences. And also, we demonstrated the history of corpus linguistics, the whole corpus linguistics history from Brown till Coca corpus. The second one is the backbone of our dissertation, I can say, because we demonstrated a lot of numbers and percentages which is related to corpora analysis. As we know, corpus is a main tool, it's essential, it gives a lot of quantitative analysis and it gives a lot of numbers and the percentages in order to make the dissertation reliable and feasible. The third one is corpus-based analysis. Here we covered overall 260 idioms, analyzed all idioms, not only from corpus, but also we found some interesting idioms in Kazakhstan here and also in Scotland. So let's move on then. Next, the aim of our dissertation is to identify, classify, and clarify the idioms, transformed idioms in publicistic texts through corpus-based and the discourse analysis methods. By this dissertation, we can say that we have achieved some aims, which is linguistic, cultural, and pragmatic functions. So I'm going to demonstrate what does it mean, how did we achieve all these aims. The first one is linguistic. For example, how the word formed, the meaning, how the idioms undergo some transformation, like it can be substitution, extension, reduction, grammar, semantic. All this we covered and gave with numbers and percentages. That's why we think that we try to cover and achieve this aim. The second one is cultural. It means like we are living in this cutting-edge technology era. We have a lot of culture, like technology culture, digitalization, use language culture, online culture. All these cultures affected to modify idioms and play and change the language. The third one is pragmatic, which means that journalists tend to use idioms, play with idioms in order to grab readers' attention, to show some irony, humor, and to be creative. Therefore, we think we also achieved all that pragmatic aim as well. All these functions were achieved by corpus-based methods. We identified statistics, frequency, patterns, real like meaning, ideology, communicative intention, and the context. So here we can see in the next slide main provision submitted for defense. The first one is dynamic nature of transformation. Idioms like before, there were some authors from England and America, like Fraser, Goldsberg, Adam McKay. All these authors thought that idioms are kind of fixed, and sometimes they can undergo some modification, but in a limited way. Like it can be grammar a little bit, or in a semantic way. But here we came up with the decision that idioms might undergo some lexical, syntactic, semantic modification, and the lexical substitution in our dissertation dominates with 66%. And all this context alters through substitution, reduction, expansion, abbreviation, and recontextualization. So, and also we gained all these outcomes through corpus-based analysis, as I mentioned before. Like here, we can see a lot of tools like COCA, NC, BNC, Sketch Engine, and Google Ngram Viewer. COCA is a corpus where we can find a lot of authentic materials, which stands for Corpora of American English, ANC also American, BNC which is British, Sketch Engine, it's a big tool where you can find a lot of corpora inside. And the Google Ngram Viewer is also a tool where you can find if the word popular nowadays or no. So it helps a lot to identify and to clarify our idioms as well. Also, we trying to distinguish the differences between British and American medium, and we came up with the decision that British English is kind of very reserved, and they use a lot of tradition idioms compared to American one. Because American English, which is COCA, ANC, they have a lot of transformed idioms compared to BNC. In BNC, we couldn't find a lot of modified idioms. That's why we came up with the decision that British is reserved and they tend to use traditional ones. Because we analyzed 160 idioms via BNC in order to identify the British English, and about like 56% of idioms were traditional. That's why we came up with the decision. So next one is socio-cultural impact. So as I mentioned before, journalists, idiom, they do not change idioms randomly. They change idioms in order to catch the reader's attention, sound modern and relevant, express evaluation, persuade readers emotionally. And it's a kind of cultural shift. That's why we also, I think, try to prove this kind of notion about socio-cultural impact. Not only do we work with corpora, but also we, as I mentioned before, found some idioms here in Kazakhstan. Here in Almaty, Yesenta restaurant, there is a shot with idiom transformed. A ginger shot a day keeps the doctors away. But the traditional one is an apple a day keeps the doctors away. That's why we were a little bit shocked that even in Kazakhstan, we tend to use some kind of modified idioms. That's why we tried why people change this idiom. And after COVID-19, the usage of word ginger shot from Ngram Viewer increased significantly. That's why apple is not modern right now. Ginger shot is kind of modern. That's why, because of the technology, because of the COVID-19 health issue and the use language, people are trying to change and play with idioms. The second picture was a photo was taken in Edinburgh. If, for example, here, fly me to the moon, the traditional one, but here we can see fly me to the moon, which is alteration as well. So here, in order to change pragmatic function to try to grab customers' attention, in a humor way, they altered this idiom as well. Let me introduce some kind of results of our dissertation work. We worked with 256 idioms, but overall 96 idioms were demonstrated in Appendix A, and afterwards we built up our own corpus, which is called Modified Idioms in Sketch Engine, and we tried to dig deeper 96 idioms with transformer, traditional, and with links, and with percentage as well. So, dominates is lexical substitution with 66%. The next one is synonymic substitution. For example, go nuts can be transferred in go bananas with 17%. Domain-specific replacement with 31%. Metaphor reframing 18%. Passivization 12%. Like, for example, kill two birds with one stone can be passivization, can change in a passive way, like two birds were killed, things like that. It is 12%, nominalization 6%, acronym substitution 8%, punning and the wordplay 8% as well. When it comes to semantic shift, here we can see modernization and ethical reframing. Modernization was 74, as we know, because of the technology, social media, mass media, a lot of use trying to change and play with transforming idioms as well, not only journalists. For example, spill the beans, which is related gossiping, which is popular among old generation, but spill the tea is kind of popular among youth, teenagers. Or the next one is ethical reframing with 29%. For example, some people, in order to avoid the violence and in order to be respectful, they try to avoid violence. For example, here we can see, kill two birds with one stone. It can be modified into feed two birds with one stone, which is animal friendly. And we also had a survey among American students here from Kazakh National University and some also master students, and they chose traditional animal-friendly idiom with about like 80%. They showed that they are animal-friendly kind of traditional form of idioms they nowadays use. And also pragmatic and the communicative function. Here we can see a lot of functions like humor, identity, ethical reframing, platform, and the mimetic. From all these notions, we try to reach our aim, pragmatic ones. Like here we can see percentages, humor 23, identity 18, ethical 9, platform 15, and the mimetic commercial use 12. So when it comes to linguistic change, the dominant, as I mentioned before, is a lexical one, 65%, and the next one is passivization with 11, wordplay with 8%, acronymization with 8%, and nominalization with 6%. All these numbers were taken from COCA analysis with hits, with disturbance, with tokens, and collocations as well. So next, we decided what kind of factors are like influencing websites or maybe dictionaries. And the dominant was dictionaries, other websites, codes. Second place was corpora. As I mentioned before, COCA is the American corpus, and it demonstrates 15%. And the next one is TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and we have here a lot of social medias where we can find a lot of texts, not only publicistic texts, but also the general ones as well. So here, conclusion, key findings, we tried to say that not only idioms undergo grammar or semantic transformation, but also undergoes a lexical substitution, modernization and pragmatic innovation. And all this, our investigation can be implemented in lexicography, because idioms should be taught not only the traditional but the transformed ones, because when people they are learning languages or just scrolling news, they must be media literate, I guess, and try to understand the meaning and the message of journalists, what kind of message they want to introduce via these texts. That's why in order to identify is it human or the serious ones, they have to know not only traditional but transformed idioms as well. And NLP, it can be implicated, it's machine learning. For example, machine learning, artificial intelligence, or corpus-based disciplines are essentials nowadays, we see. That's why all these outcomes can be implicated, can be used in NLP as well. So the last one is, we, as I mentioned, with 96 idioms, we built up our corpora, namely modified idioms. You can find it in Sketch Engine with transformed idioms, and there, before that time, there was no any corpus with modified idioms. Yeah.
In your time is over.
Yes, yeah, I'm finished. Thank you. Thank you so much.
The presentation has been concluded. Thank you, Hасановой М.Т. Dear members of the Dissertation Council, please feel free to ask questions for the candidate. Сұрақтарыңызды қазақша, орысша қоя білсеңіздер, бізде аудармашы бар. Профессор Айсенова.
Әріптестер, сізге мынандай бір сұрағым бар. Сіз аңғартпаңыздың қазақшасында сонда ғылыми жаңалығы бар ғой, бөлім. Сонда сіз бүйтесіз, түрлі мәдени өкілдері тарапынан қабылдау ерекшелігі байқалады дейсіз, трансформацияланған фразологизм. Сонда екі мәдениет өкілі осы трансформацияланған фразологизмнің қолын ашуда, импорттауда аялық білім деген болу керек. Фоновое знание. Сіз жұмысыңызда осы мәселеге тоқталасыз ба? Аялық білім, фоновое знание. Өйткені сіз ғылыми жаңалығыңызды солай айтасыз. Екінші сұрақ. Енді трансформацияланған фразологизмнің қызметін айтасыз, сонда мынау ағылшын тіліндегі трансформацияланған фразологизмдердің барлығы сәтті қолданыс деп айтасыз ба жұмысыңызда? Әлде сәтсіз трансформацияланған фразологизмдер бар ма? Сәтті, сәтсіз, оны ғылыми терминмен айтқанда уәжді ауытқу, уәжсіз ауытқу дейді. Енді мен оны кеңірек айтып отырмын. Одан кейінгі мәселе, трансформацияланған фразологизмдер біздің Қазақстандағы бұқаралық ақпарат құралдарында, медиа мәтіндерінде көбінесе тақырып атта кездеседі, заголовкада. Көбінесе солай, ағылшын мәтіндерінде де сіз осы тақырып, мен негізі тақырып дейді, тақырыпта көбірек кездесе берген ағылшын мәтіндерінде. Трансформацияланған фразологизмдер. Түсінікті болып жатыр ғой, Одан кейінгі соңғы сұрақ, сіз қарасам жұмысыңызда мәтінаралық қолданыс дейді, оны ғылыми терминмен мәтінаралық референция құбылысы дейді. Мәтінаралық референция құбылысы. Оның өзі екіге бөлінеді: интерполяция, сосын реминисценция. Мәтінаралық дегенде, мысалы, бірінші интерполяция, ол ешқандай басқа бір мәтінді әкеліп тақырыпқа келіп қоя салады, өзгертпейді. Ал реминисценция ол өзгертеді. Мысалы, махаббат қызық мол жылдар деп тақырып қояды қазақтарда. Махаббат қызық мол жылдар. Ол бар ғой, ол кәдімгі ішіндегі интерполяция құбылысы, ешқандай өзгеріссіз. Ал енді реминисценция құбылысы батынның қуған хамиттер қайда дейді. Сонда біреу өзгертіледі, біреу өзгертілмейді. Мәтінаралық референция құбылысы. осылар біздің Қазақстанда жақсы зерттелген. Осындай бар ма екен ағылшын мәтіндерінде деймін да. 4 сұрақ түсінікті ғой, иә?
So actually,
Actually, there were 4 questions. The first question is related to the novelties that you have shown in the dissertation about the features of inquiry in decoding process. Is there any kind of information about the background language? The second question was about transformed functions, about the functions of transformed idiomatic expressions. In English, are there any kind of are there any kind of phenomena like this in English language? Have you shown it in your work? And the third one is about transport phraseological expressions that were used in headlines mostly in Kazakhstan. It is widely researched, related to the research of Kazakhstani researchers. Are there any other kind of usage in the English language? And the last question is related to the intertextual use, that is in the Kazakh language is used like intertextual reference phenomenon, which is divided into 2 types, interpolation and reminiscence. The question, and the professor has given some kind of examples related, and as well any kind of examples related to the English language like this.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your question, Professor. The first one is, which is related to decoding, right? So if a lot of nations understand idioms in a different way, yes, of course, because not only nations but also use difference can be differentiation. Because I've asked some surveys from American students, Kazakh master degree students, and then old nation people and the youth, and they understand the idiom meaning in a different way. For example, American students, they can understand idiom meaning very fastly, and they answered all surveys in a very fast way. And when it comes to Kazakh master degree students, they took some time to understand what we were talking about, what is transformed idioms. Like I gave some examples of ethical reframing, which is animal friendly or not. I just wanted to know from survey, and it took about 1 day to understand them. Maybe I thought maybe at home they just analyzed the whole system and they came back and answered. The second, just a second, and then also I asked American professors about transformed idioms, like about spelling the bean, spelling the tea, and he didn't know the word spelling tea at all. Spelling tea is traditional one, spell bean is a transformed one, spell the bean is a traditional one, which means gossiping. So it means that there is a huge difference in understanding.
Бірінші сұрақ бойынша әрине әртүрлі ұлттардың өкілдеріне сәйкес олардың білімдері де әртүрлі жиынға келген. Мысалға көптеген идиомаларға зерттеу жүргізген кезінде диссертант қазақстандық магистранттарға, американдық студенттерге және де американдық профессорларға жасалған зерттеулер туралы айтып өтті. Американдық студенттер тез ғана түсінген. Мысалға идиомалық өзгертілген трансформацияланған идиомалар білген кезде ал қазақ магистранттарына сәл уақыт қажет болған. Олардың өзінің ой жетегіне өткізу үшін. Ал үшінші американдық профессорларға жаңадан трансформацияланған идиомалар көрсеткен кезде олар оны түсінген, өйткені олар нақты өзінің оригинал түрде қолданған идиомаларды ғана білетін өскен. Бұдан енді шығарып көрінді, әркімнің аял білімі әртүрлі деген.
Also, the second one, are there like successful, yeah? I cannot say that they are all successful and reliable, understandable. because we hear in Appendix A, you can find 96 idioms. There are not all of them successful because in COCA corpus, when we try to find some idioms, they can be only one hit, like one hit. But others, like ginger shot maybe, it demonstrated like 36 hits, which means it's a medium. But others demonstrated like 100 hits, which is very, very popular. Like, for example, Brain's instrument, which is also transformed form of Brain's band or Brain's ice.
Екінші сұрақ бойынша бәрі сәтті емес, өйткені диссертация жұмысында қоса қолданылған тосын идиомаларда әртүрлі корпустарда қарастырған кезде, мысалы КОКада тек қана бір мысалы бір идиома кездесетін болса, ал басқа корпустардың түрлерінде молынан кездескен. Яғни әртүрлі бір жерде сәтті, бір жерде сәтті емес деген.
When it comes to headlines, I also read a lot of papers which is related to headlines from here, Kazakhstan, like Marika Muratovna analyzed this topic. But in English media, it's also kind of popular because especially in mass media, in social networks, there are a lot of headlines with in order to grab readers' attention. For example, I've just recently scrolling the Twitter and I saw one extra new idiom that I didn't include, like keep up with Jonases, which is modified into keep up with Kardashians, things like that, just in order to grab attention because people just scroll it and they have to grab the attention in 15 seconds, I guess.
Үшінші сұрақ бойынша headline тақырыбы оларда бізде Қазақстан мысалдарына сәйкес Мариканың жұмысын бар дейді, бізде аймақ металлургтары, ал ағылшын тілінде әрине ол да жиі кездеседі екен. Оқырмандардың назарын аударту үшін әсіресе осы әдіс жақсы қолданылады.
Intertextual, yeah, it is, which is means to combine two idioms into one. Is it the same thing?
Which one? Is it
The last question, is it same thing, combining two idioms in order to make one?
Жаңағы екі идиоманы бір идиома ретінде қолдану туралы сұрап
мәтінаралық референция құрылысы дедім ғой. Мысалы білімде тура сол бұрыннан біз өзіміз мәтінді алады да әкеп тақырыпқа әкеп қояды заголовкына. А біреуін өзгертеді. Осындай бар ма екен? Қазақтың медиа мәтінде ол өте көп. Ағылшында да сондай ма екен? Прецедентті феномендер болуы мүмкін оның ішінде.
Two types, that is, first is related to the fixed use, and the second one is in amended, a little bit changed.
Yeah, they have. But I didn't. Unfortunately, I didn't analyze this topic deeper. That's why I cannot say. But I hope that there is some issues if we try to find them.
Өкінішке орай диссертация мақсатында кабинетте бұны жеделдік есептелді дейді, бірақ біздің ойымызша ол кездеспеді.
Рахмет. Thank you.
Рахмет. Қалбеке өңіріңіз қарағаттарыңызға барып жауаптарға. Рахмет.
May I ask you a question?
Professor Metin Ikici, please.
Yeah. Rahmet. I have two questions to Mulder. The first question, your thesis named as based on the national corpora of the English language. So, my question is that how do you call the collected data based on the national corpora, since you collected the idioms both from British and American sources? This is first question. And would you tell me how much of the idioms you have examined collected from British sources and American sources? Thank you.
Thank you for your question, Professor.
Mhm.
First one, which is related to our topic about national corpora of the English language, we identified national corpora as a corpora ANC, BNC, and COCA. Because we tried to identify two different languages, two different variety of English, like American and British. So in order to identify American English, we analyzed idioms from ANC, which stands for American National Corpus, and the second one is COCA, which stands for Corpus of Contemporary American English. And the next one, in order to identify the British English, we worked with BNC, which stands for British National Corpora. That's why we decided to give a name. It's a national corpora of the English language because they're very well known among natives. And the second question is, overall 256 idioms were analyzed in this dissertation. 160 idioms were gained from British and others from American as well. But here the problem is, for example, spill the beans, spill the tea, which is related to American and British as well, because American people can identify this idiom and British also can identify this idiom. And in BNC we can find this idiom and ANC as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have two questions for you. The first question is, what are the reasons of transforming idioms? And the second one is also about data collection methods and data analysis. Some details about data collection and data analysis methods and stages.
Thank you, Professor, for your question. The first one is reasons why people or journalists tend to play with idioms, right? So in this word, cutting-edge technology era where we're living, youth, teenagers tend to shorten languages or expand some of them. Play, change the order, and as I mentioned, they are mostly animal-friendly nowadays. And they were thinking, why you are talking about killing two birds when we just can feed them? And that's why they try to avoid all the violence, and in order to be trendy sometimes, and to catch other teenagers' attention, they use all these transformed idioms. As I asked, do you know the spill the beans? They said, no, I don't know. But they know spill the tea, but it's a kind of unconsciously happened. And the second one, data collection. We collected data from corpus, discourse analysis, and the Ngram viewer as well. Ngram viewer is a very well-known tool in America, which gives you the word is popular nowadays, increasing the usage or decreasing. Thank you.
I have one question. What can you say about the cultural or ideological meanings are most frequently encoded through items transformation in media texts, especially in publicistic texts? First question.
Cultural
and ideological
meanings.
Theological.
Okay. Cultural, as I mentioned before, because of we have different culture. For example, digitalization, technology culture, youth culture, online culture, healthy, trendy culture. People trying to be sometimes creative, to attract attention, to attract customers. For example, in Edinburgh. That's why they're playing with idioms. Or sometimes in a print media, journalists, as we know, print media usage is decreasing now, reading. That's why journalists, in order to grab readers' attention and to change the reader's opinion or to like persuade them, they use different cultures and change these idioms. And then, yes, that's it, I guess.
Tasarruflarınız var mı? Onda bir koyayım. Сізге бірнеше сұрақ бар. Мөлдір Тағанқызы, сіздің диссертациялық зерттеуіңіз жалпы Қазақстан тіл біліміне қандай үлес қосады деп ойлайсыз? Жұмысыңыздың осы негізгі ғылыми жаңалығы не деп есептейсіз? Бірінші сұрақ. Жазып бердіңіз бе? Екінші, жалпы фразеология ғылымының қалыптасуында орыс тіл білімінің орны ерекше, оны білесіз, себебі жалпы фразеология үлкен мектеп ретінде ғылым саласы ретінде Ресейде қалыптасқан. Осыған орай болу керек, Қазақстан фразеология мектебінде де бірқатар ғылыми үлкен бағыттар бар екен, ол жақсы жұмыстар зерттелген. Сіздің диссертацияңыздың библиографиясын қарастырып отырсам, осы шетелдік ғалымдардың еңбектеріне көбірек талдау жасағаныңыз байқалады. Осы ретте қазақстандық ғалымдардың қандай еңбектерін осы фразеологияға байланысты, немесе трансформацияланған фразеологияға байланысты ерекше атап өтесіз? Қандай зерттеулер сіздің жұмысыңызға теориялық негіз болды? Бұл екінші сұрақ. Үшінші сұрақ. Қазір қазақ тіл білімінде өте көп еңбектер бар, мысалы үшін оказиялық фразеологизмдер деген. Осы оказиялық фразеологизмдер мен сіздің трансформацияланған фразеологизмдердің табиғаты бірдей ма? Егер бірдей емес болса, оның айырмашылығы неде? Мысалы үшін оказиялық фразеологизмдер деген бар, сосын трансформациялық фразеологизмдер. Неге бұл екеуі осылай екі бөліп қарайды? Бұлар синоним қатарлар ма, әлде екеуі осы терминнің табиғаты екі бөлек ма? Төртінші сұрақ, ол диссертация тақырыбында қолданылатын трансформер идиомас термин қазақ тілінде трансформацияланған фразеологиялық бірліктер деп бересіз. Неге онсыз трансформацияланған идиомалар деп бермедіңіз? Идиома мен фразеологиялық бірлік сіз үшін екеуі бірдей ма, әлде екеуінің арасында айырмашылық бар ма? Неге аудармасында осындай екі бөлек? Себебі идиома деген сөз термин біздің қазақ тіл білімінде де бар. Рахмет.
So the first question is about your dissertation's contribution to Kazakhstani linguistics related to novelty. The second question is in the development of the science of phraseology here in Kazakhstan. We know that the role of the Russian language is huge. So what can you say about researchers that were conducted here in Kazakhstan? Because according to the reference list of your dissertation, we have noticed that you've used the works of foreign scientists. So what can you say about Kazakhstani contribution? And the third question is about the difference between transformed phraseological units and the occasional phraseology. Are they different or they are used in synonymous meaning? And the last fourth question is related to the title of your work, because in the Kazakh language you have given it like phraseological units, idioms. So idioms and phraseological units, are they the same or different?
Thank you so much. The first one, for Kazakhstan, as we are a triangle country, I think English also is essential to know. And the outcome to Kazakhstan of our results is media, in order to improve the media literacy, I guess, among Kazakh students who are learning English, and to improve their critical thinking as well. And then improve to help them to understand texts or any mass media, for example, blogs, in a proper way. Therefore, we have a lot of people who studies English in Kazakhstan. I think in next days, like as I'm mentioning, English will be dominant language in the same way like a Russian or Kazakhstan as well.
Бірінші сұрақ бойынша Қазақстанда үш тілді мемлекет болғандықтан ағылшынның өте зор. Медиадағы именно сыни ойлауды және де оның грамотность, сауаттылықты дамыту мақсатында, сонымен қатар мәтіндермен де көптеген медиалардағы жаңа текстер, мәтіндер түсіну мақсатында оның ерекше зоры бар дейді ағылшын тілінің. Болашақта ағылшын тілі орыс тілі деңгейге көтерілетініне ағылшын тілінің материалдарына.
Yeah, we hope so.
Біз үміттенеміз.
First question is you.
The next question is which is related to authors. I read also Kazakhstani and Russian authors. We from Russia we gained the notion of dividing phraseology into 3 steps from Vinogradov system. We analyze it from this. We try to analyze the texts according to that one as well. And the next one also here in Kazakhstan. For example, we have a lot of professors, PhD candidates, PhDs from Nazarbayev University. I can see here Gulnara Omarbekova, who analyzed phraseology. For example, here in Kazakh language also we have some transformed idioms, as she gives us, for example, "Yer bolam deseng maskangda tuze," which is meant also transformed idioms we have here in Kazakh language. I read all these works and we included all these works to our dissertation. That not only English have transformed idioms, but also here in Kazakh we are trying to play like the bank basnan shvide. We found this kind of idioms as well transformed in Kazakh language, and we wanted to distinguish. But the lack system, I think we need some corpus analysis to Kazakh idioms and the Kazakh phraseology in order to build the proper methodology, I guess. It's cemented.
Қазақстандық және орыс авторларды біз зерттедік және олардың пікірлерін өз жұмысымызда қолдандық дейді. Мысалы, Виноградовтың жұмысын ескеріп өтті, ол фразеологиялық бірліктерді 3-ке бөліп көрсетті және біз сол тәсілді қолдандық дейді. Қазақстанда, мысалы, Назарбаев университетінде Омарбекова Гүлнар, қателеспесем, ол да осы мәселе бойынша зерттеген. Мысалы, келтіріп кетті, ел болам десек, масканы түзе деген сияқты. Бұл Қазақстанда да трансформацияланған темалардың жиі қолданылып көрсетеді. Және бізде қазақ фразеологиясы мен идиомдарын зерттеуде корпустық әдістердің қажет екендігін ескеріп өтсек.
Қазақстандық ғалымдар қандай үлкен фразеологиялық мектептер бар?
Кеңесбаев үлкен мектебі бар, Кеңесбаев сөздігі бар, фразалы атасы деп айтсақ болады. Содан кейін ол кісі, I'm English, yeah? Oh, sorry. He said that idioms are kind of, phraseological units are kind of fixed, Kingspire said. And afterwards, but Smagolova also had her own мағыналы сөздік, phraseological сөздігі, and she said that phraseological units is related to culture, and she gave this notion about phraseology. Yes, and
occasional phraseology. Phraseological, yes, and are they synonyms?
From Kazakh languages, yeah. She was asking about Kazakh languages. I don't know that one. Sorry, I didn't include these terms in this dissertation, and which is related to phraseology and idioms. Why we decided to translate 2 different notions. Yeah, phraseology phraseology is a kind of broader notion. Sayings, proverbs, idioms, proverbs are included in the phraseology actually. But we were deciding to, first of all, to translate function of transformed phraseology in publicistic text. First of all, we thought like this. But afterwards, we had some extra helpers, advisors, scientific from Cambridge University and England and from Spain, and they told us that phraseology is not kind of popular in England or America. They usually shorten it, they usually focus in a narrow topic. Phraseology, there is notion, but they are mostly used like idioms, they said like this. And we read a lot of papers on Scopus as well. There are a lot of like focusing on transformed idioms. That's why, but in Russia and Kazakhstan, as we are noticing here, a lot of authors, Makienko, Malika Muratovna, Kingspayev, Smagolova, Vinogradov, all these authors are talking about phraseology. So in Kazakhstan and Russia, phraseology is a kind of popular. In order to be understandable and feasible, we decided to translate like this.
Üçüncü сұрақ бойынша өкінішке орай жаңағы кардиналды трансформацияланған фразеологизм туралы біз жұмыста қараған жоқпыз, сондықтан да болашақта қараймыз деп ал жаңағы соңғы сұрағымыз бойынша ағылшын тіліне басында трансформацияланған фразеологизмді қолданғымыз келген дейді, бірақ та Кембридж Испания университеті профессорларымен ақылдаса келе Англия мен Америкада фразеологизм термині өте қатты кең қолданыста болғандықтан олар көбінесе идиома ретінде қарастырылғандықтан біз идиома деген терминге тоқталып кетіп аудармасында фразеологизмге берген себебіміз көптеген еңбектерде қазақстандық әсіресе жаңа атап өтті Кеңесбаев пен Аймағамбетованың жұмыстарында фразеологизм деп бергендіктен сол терминді кеңірек қолданыста болғандықтан қалдыруды шештік дейді.
Әрине, идиома қазақ тілінде ол фразеологиялық тұтастық деген береді, тек қана соның орнында. Сондықтан идиома деп бере салу керек еді қазақ бірліктер демек. Себебі барлық фразеологизм идиома бола алмайды қазақ тілінде, егер қазақ тіліне жүгінетін болса.
Жарайды.
Thank you so much. If there are no questions, the next item is a review of the review by candidates domestic, scientific advisor, Doctor of Philology Science, Professor Suleimanova Eleanor.
Отандық ғылыми кеңестің пікірін қысқаша айтуға рұқсат етіңіздер. Mulder Hassanova has successfully completed the full doctoral program, published a series of scholarly articles, including in higher-ranking international journals, and prepared her dissertation. This substantial body of work accomplished within a relatively short period of time demonstrates her strong organizational skills in scientific research as well as her ability to work with focus, consistency, and success. I am convinced that Mulder Hassanova's dissertation function of transformed idioms in publicistic text based on the National Corpora of the English Languages fully meets the requirements of a doctoral dissertation. PhD satisfies the highest academic standards and may be completely recommended for public defense in the specialty 8D 02306 foreign philology. Local scientific supervisor Professor Sulimena Eleonora Luciana Al-Farabi Kazakh National University.
The next item is a review of the papers by the candidates for scientific advisor, Usman Rafael, Doctor of Philological Science, Alkit, Professor, University of Granada, Granada, Spain. Alkit the next item is a reading of the reviews by the candidates for a scientific advisor, Guzman Tirada Rafael, Doctor of Philological Science, Professor, University of Granada, Granada, Spain.
Şekilde Government King'in bakalım kısaca anlatayım. At the outset, it should be noted that Hassanova Mulder, a doctoral student of 8D02306, Foreign Philology Western Languages at Al-Farabi Kazno, has already published several research papers in international and local journals, which reflects her active scholarly engagement and ability to disseminate her research findings to with the academic community. The dissertation by Hassanova Mulder demonstrates originality, depth, and practical science. It is an important contribution to idioms studies and corpus linguistics, meeting the requirements for the award of the degree of Doctor of Philosophy PhD in Foreign Philology. I strongly support the submission of this dissertation for official defense and recommended it without reservation for the award of the PhD degree. Foreign scientific consultant Rafael Usman Tirado, Professor of the Department of Greek Philology and Slavic Philology, University of Granada.
Thank you so much, Professor Eleanor Sulimena and dear Professor Guzman. Dear members of the Dissertation Council and participants of the defense, we now give in the floor to the two official reviewers. The floor is given a Doctor of Philological Science, Professor Islam Aybarsha, Kazakh Ablayhan University of International Relations and the World Languages, Almaty, Kazakhstan.
Dear distinguished Honorable Berdinana, and all the members of the Council, let me introduce my review. The relevance of the dissertation topic of the thesis is adverse, as media discourse is featured by its influence on the development of both language and society. The transformed idioms in contemporary English use in publicistic texts have not been soundly researched yet, though the idioms have long been of interest of scholars. This research gap clearly justifies the necessity of the present study. The thesis aligns with the law of the Republic of Kazakhstan on science and technology policy, strategic directions for the national scientific development and the strategy for the development of the language policy in the Republic of Kazakhstan for 2023-2029. The research findings make a significant contribution to the further development of corpus linguistic studies of idioms, and the thesis definitely discloses the dynamic nature and modified forms of the English idioms used in publicistic texts. The level of self-reliance demonstrated in the thesis is high, as evidenced by the analytical approach applied to the object of the study, combining corpus linguistic methodology with an analysis of the dynamic nature of idioms in media discourse. The relevance of the research topic is justified since transformed idioms of the modern English in mass media have not yet been sufficiently studied. The content of the thesis reflects the topic of the research as the presented chapters of the research examine the independent and the hierarchically structured aspects of the subject under study. The purpose and objectives of the research are clearly formulated. The aim of the study is to identify, classify, and explain the mechanisms of the transformation of the English idioms in publicistic texts. The objective is focused on achieving the goal and revealing the historical development of idiom studies, analyzing a corpus of transformed English idioms in media discourse, identifying and classifying different models of their transformation. All sections and provisions of the thesis are logically and cohesively connected in terms of both structure and the content. The critical analysis of existing research on idioms allowed the author call into question the accepted definition of idioms in linguistics, developing a new understanding of a dynamic nature of the idioms. This approach is substantiated by the identification of the various models of idiom transformation in modern English based on empirical material extracted from publicistic texts in mass media. The first provision of the thesis that states the dynamic nature of the idiom is contrary to the traditional understanding of this notion is new. On the basis of analysis of the transformed idioms in contemporary publicistic texts, the researcher proved the transformation models which align with accepted linguistic patterns and interpreting English transformed idioms new meanings in the social-cultural context. The second provision is new as it shapes trends in frequency, co-occurrence, and discursive functions of the transformed idioms that proved on the analysis of different media platforms. The third provision is new as the comparative analysis of American and British transformed idioms in publicistic texts allows the researcher to outline specific features such as syntactic and semantic changes in American English and greater structural stability in British English respectively. The fourth provision is new at the identification of the thematic fields in mass media where the transformed idioms are frequently used highlights their roles in reflecting the social cultural context and producing a pragmatic communication effect. The fifth provision is new at the consideration of the idioms by means of comprehensive interdisciplinary methodological approach of corpus linguistics, idiom studies, and media discourse analysis with definite empirical evidence in publicistic texts allows to state that idioms should be investigated as flexible linguistic units. The findings of the thesis are novel as they are based on thorough analysis of the existing studies of the subject matter, and the author of the thesis is able to delineate the mechanisms of idiom transformation in publicistic texts with the analysis facilitated with the analysis supported by digital corpus analysis tools. The technological solutions employed are entirely novel and involve the use of digital platforms including social media for the collection and analysis of research material. Specifically, Sketch Engine is used to trace the dynamics of idiom transformation and to conduct concordance analysis of transformed idioms, while Python pandas library is applied for filtering, grouping, and identifying the frequency of English idioms in publicistic texts. The main conclusions of the research are well-grounded as they are based on the findings achieved due to the appropriate methods. The first provision is proven as it is based on the critical review of research on idioms. Moreover, transformed idioms extracted from current publicistic texts confirm the dynamic nature of idioms and lexical syntactic semantic changes. The modification of the idioms is realized by means of substitution, metaphorical expansions, abbreviations, and reconciliation. The second provision is proven as the findings are based on the analysis of the numerous media platforms, allowing the identification of key trends in co-occurrence patterns and discourse functions. The third provision is proven as analysis of American British media texts has identified differences in the modeling of transformative idioms and has determined the context of their modification. The fourth provision is proven as analysis demonstrated that transformative idioms contribute to the rhetorical factors, intertextual connections, and to intensification of pragmatic aspects of the publicistic texts. The question is you were asking here concerning the pragmatic aspects today, and the fifth provision is proven as an integrated approach to transformative idioms indicates its applicability to future research of idiomatic variation in media language. All provisions are not trivial, as the idioms are validated as not fixed but dynamic. The linguistic ways of modeling transformative idioms and the pragmatic intention of using them in mass media communication, the indifferent tendencies in American British media discourse in terms of idiom transforming are identified for the first time. The main provisions are assessed as new as findings of the research have changed traditional viewpoint on idioms, and the integration of digital analytical tools for the analysis of empirical material contributes to the high degree of accuracy and the validity of the research findings. The theoretical findings of the research are applicable at a wide level to other languages' idiom standards. The main provisions are validated in articles published on the subject of thesis. The methodological choice is justified by exploring a vast body of scholarly works in the field of corpus linguistics, studies on idioms, application of digital analytical methods. The findings of the thesis are analyzed by means of corpus-based methods, discourse analysis, linguistic analysis, quantitative analysis, using digital technology. The objectives of the given research involve the justification through experimental methods, namely conducting a study, examining the undertaking the transformative idioms among respondents. Key statements are fully supported by references to relevant and reliable academic literature. The usability resources are sufficient as they review allowed to achieve the presented results of the research. The theoretical value of the thesis is identified with a definite contribution to the further development of media discourse. The obtained results could be applied to media discourse, corporal linguistics, lexicography, computational linguistics, and development special courses on transformed idioms of modern English. The practical suggestions are completely new, as the results of the thesis prove the dynamic nature of idioms, particularly the transformation of English idioms in cultural and social context, in mass media communication, in contrast to the traditional understanding of the fixed nature of idioms. The thesis is written in highly proficient academic writing, and you have also we have also seen the really language high level of an excellent language proficiency while presenting the material today in the defense. Some remarks on the thesis. The thesis employs without sufficient differentiates in the context of text and the discourse, media discourse, and journalistic discourse, resulting in lack of terminological consistency. The thesis exhibits an imbalanced chapter length structure. The articles are relevant to the issues of the topic of the thesis, the achieved results of the research are highlighted in the publications. The thesis function of the transformed idioms in publicistic text is based on the national corpora of the English language submitted to the defense as a completed study. I fully support the conferral of the Doctor of Philosophy PhD degree in 6D02 CO6 Foreign Philology upon Hasanova Mulder Kalgatna. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Professor Aybasha Islam. To respond of the rigorous comments on the floor. Thank you so much, Professor Aybasha Islam. To respond to all the reviews, the comments, the floors is given to Hasanova Mulder.
I have two remarks.
Okay. Okay, thank you. About using publicistic texts as mass media, journalist discourse in one dissertation, right? Okay, thank you for your question. Publicistic
discourse is a discourse which is can be found in mass media, where we think, because mass media is a huge it can be radio, newspapers, platforms, social media, and a publicistic discourse. It can be found in a mass media, and the journalists, when they write publicistic discourse, publicistic texts, also it can be found in mass media, social media. If it touches some like important topics, like about gender equality, politics, about culture, education, war. That's why we differentiated, like journalists can write publicistic texts as well, but in mass media also some posters which touches these important questions can be related to publicistic texts as well. Yeah, thank you so much.
Second one.
Second one is about cultural value.
Imbalance in the length of the chapters.
Imbalance of what? Sorry.
Of the length.
Length. Ah, okay. It's the second one.
The last one.
Yeah, it was about how many papers? Like the length was shorter, but if the committee will give us some permission, we will prolong it, adding 10 extra papers to the second chapter.
It's up to you, I guess.
It's
not
up to me. Okay.
You have structured this way, and then this is okay.
Okay, thank you. Then we will prolong
the
it.
whole volume is more than 150. That's okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Mulder. Now the floor is given to PhD Islamov Fariza, Kinji Sarandip University of International Business, Almaty, Kazakhstan, please. Sorry, Ismailova Fariza.
Good afternoon, dear members of the Dissertation Council. Thank you for the opportunity to present my review of the dissertation Hасановой М.Т. The dissertation complies with the priority areas of science development, particularly in the fields of philology, media linguistics, corpus linguistics, and intercultural communication, which are aligned with the national priorities for the development of science and higher education. The dissertation corresponds to the priority direction of the science development approved by the Higher Scientific Technical Commission. Importance for science. The dissertation makes a significant contribution to modern linguistics, particularly to phraseology, media linguistics, and the corpus-based discourse studies. The author provides a systematic and theoretical ground analysis of idiom transformation in contemporary English publicistic discourse, which expects existing approaches to the study of idiomatic language in media context. The scientific importance of the research is clearly and consistently demonstrated. The principle of independence is high. The research demonstrates a high level of independence. The author independently formulates the research objectives, developed the methodology, complied the analyzed corpus, applied modern analytical methods, and obtained original scientific results. All stages of the study, including data collection, corpus analysis, and the interpretation, were carried out without external assistance, demonstrating self-reliance and scientific maturity. Number 4, the relevance of the dissertation is thoroughly justified. The study addresses a contemporary linguistic phenomenon, the transformation of idioms into publicistic discourse, which is of growing importance due to the rapid development of digital media, social network, and the global communication channels. The dissertation demonstrates how idioms traditionally considered fixed linguistic units are subject to semantic, synthetic, and pragmatic modification in real media context. The author successfully identified the gap in current research, while idioms have been studied extensively in the literary and colloquial English. The systematic transformation in publicistic discourse has remained unexplored. By applying corpus-based dissertation provides a comprehensive, empirically grounded account of this transformation. This approach is innovative and timely, aligning with both national and international research priorities in linguistics, media studies, and in cultural communication. The content of the dissertation fully reflects the state research topic. Each chapter and the section is logically constructed and supports the analysis of idiom transformation in contemporary English publicistic discourse. The theoretical part provides a detailed overview of existing literature on idioms, phraseology, and media linguistics, highlighting both classical and modern approaches. The purpose and the objective of the dissertation fully corresponds to the state research topic. The main aim of the study to identify, classify, and analyze the mechanism of idiom transformation in contemporary English publicistic discourse is clearly formulated and consistently addressed throughout the dissertation. All sections and the provision of the dissertation are logically interconnected, forming a coherent and systematic study. The theoretical chapters provide a comprehensive foundation by analyzing classical and the modern approaches to idioms, phraseology, and the media linguistics. This theoretical groundwork simply informed the methodological chapter, where the author explains the corpus design selection criteria and analytical procedures. The new solutions, methods, and approaches proposed by the author are thoroughly reasoned and critically evaluated in comparison with the existing scientific concepts. The dissertation introduced a typology of idiom transformation in contemporary English publication discourse, distinguishing between semantic, classical, and the cultural technological modification. The scientific results and the provision presented in the dissertation are largely and new, contribute significantly to understanding of idiom transformation in contemporary English publicistic discourse. The findings of the dissertation demonstrate a significant degree of novelty in the study of idiom transformation in contemporary English publicistic discourse. The author identifies various mechanisms by which idioms are adapted in media text, including semantic shift, synthetic modification, lexical substitution, and cultural technological adaptations. The methodological and analytical decisions presented in the dissertation are scientifically sound, reasonable, and demonstrate a degree of novelty. The main findings of the dissertation are fully grounded in scientifically significant evidence. The conclusions are based on the systematically compliant corpus of contemporary English publicistic texts, including major media outlets, many sources. All main provisions present for defense are fully substantiated. The author provides clear empirical evidence from systematically complete corpus of English publicistic text. The result of dissertation were obtained using modern scientific methods and computational technologies. The theoretical conclusion models are identify relationships present in the dissertation are fully supported by empirical research. The author systematically analyzed the corpus of contemporary English publicistic texts from reputable media sources. Important statements and the conclusion in the dissertation are consistently confirmed the reference to current and available scientific literature. The author demonstrates a strong knowledge of both classical and the contemporary studies in phraseology, media linguistics, and corpus analysis. Each key theoretical claim is supported by citation to peer-reviewed journals and the authored sources, which provides a strong foundation for the research. The literature sources used in the dissertation are sufficient and relevant for conducting a comprehensive literature review. The author cites both classical and contemporary studies in the fields of phraseology, media linguistics, and corpus analysis, ensuring a solid theoretical foundation. The dissertation process significant theoretical value. The author develops a systematic framework for analyzing idiom transformation in contemporary English publicistic discourse, integrating corpus-based empirical research with theoretical models from phraseology and media linguistics. The dissertation demonstrates substantial practical value. The findings regarding idiom transformation in contemporary English publicistics course, can be applied in multiple areas. The practical suggestions presented in the dissertation are pretty new, innovative, while some recommendations build on established pedagogical and linguistic practices. In the author introduced original approaches to apply the results of idiom transformation analysis in education, translation, and the computational context. No significant remarks or deficiencies were identified in the dissertation. The work is logically structured, coherent, and meets the requirement for PhD level research. The publications offered by Hасановой М.Т. corresponds closely to the topic of the dissertation and demonstrate a high scientific level. These articles are published in peer-reviewed journals and cover the main aspects of idiom transformation, corpus analysis, and idiom linguistics. The dissertation fully meets the requirements for the PhD dissertation. It demonstrates a high level of scientific originality, methodological rigor, and the theoretical and practical significance. All main conclusions are substantiated by empirical evidence. The objectives fully achieved, and the work contributes to the development of media linguistics, corpus studies, and phraseology. I recommend that the degree of Doctor of Philosophy PhD be awarded. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much, dear Hamza. To respond to the reviewers' comments, the floor is from thank you so much, dear Hamza. To respond to the reviewers' comments, the floor is given the doctoral candidate Hасановой М.Т.
Thank you so much for your review and the feedback on my dissertation work. We really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Olga. So, dear members of the Dissertation Council, we will now open the floor for general discussion. Professor Исенова Калмике.
Құрметті әріптестер, бүгін бір жақсы қорғау болып жатыр. Мен үшін бұл тақырып маған жақын, өйткені металингвистикаға, прагмалингвистикаға ғылым тапқан бір оқытушы мыңдағанда ғылымда жүрген. Енді мына тақырып жалпы өзекті. Неге? Өйткені қазіргі кезде бәріміз интернетке, медиаға тәуелдіміз. Ақпараттық тасқын заманы кезінде өмір сүріп жатырмыз. Қазір шыны керек біздер түгіл, жастар түгіл біздердің өзіміз көркем шығарма түгіл, мынау көркем шығармадан гөрі медиа мәтінді, бұқаралық ақпарат құралдарын, интернетті көбірек тыңдаймыз, қараймыз. Енді соның ішіндегі фразеологизмдерді қарап, фразеологизмдердің трансформациялық түрін қарастыру бұл үлкен еңбекті керек ететін жұмыс. Енді кез келген мынау диссертациялық жұмыстың қандай теориялық, практикалық құндылығы бар деген кезде ең бірінші бізге оралатыны медиалингвистикаға көбірек келеді. Сол сияқты дискурс теориясына, мәдениетаралық коммуникация, тұлғаралық коммуникация, аксиологиялық лингвистика, лингвомәдениеттану сияқты теориялық аспекттерді дамытатын бірден бір құнды жұмыс деп аталады. Екінші бір тағы да бір мәселе фразеологизмдер көп. Соның ішінде ағылшын медиа мәтіндеріндегі фразеологизмдер не үшін трансформацияланды, не үшін журналистер осылай қолданды дегенге жауап беретін жұмыс. Онда жалпы мынау бұқаралық ақпарат құралдарында адресатта негізі үш түрлі біліктілік қалыптасады. Бұл қандай? Тілдік біліктілік, прагматикалық және журналистік. Енді осы жұмыс осы үш түрлі біліктіліктің көрсететін бір құнды еңбек деп аталады. Егер мысалы не үшін фразеологизмдерді трансформациялау дегенімізде ең бірінші прагматикалық қуатын күшейту үшін келтіреді, оны аудиторияға ықпал ету үшін, әсер ету үшін осындай фразеологизмдерді трансформациялап өзгертеді. Екіншіден, ойды ықшамдап беру үшін. Үшінші, ең үлкен мәселесі каламбур, сөз ойнатып мәселесі күшейтеді. Мырс етіп күресінде бұрыннан бар нәрсені қайтадан жаңғыртады. Міне осы мәселеде мына жұмыс өте құнды деп мен айтар едім. Сол сияқты екінші бір құнды жағын қарап отырсам, ағылшын медиа мәтіндеріндегі трансформацияланған фразеологизмдердің корпусын құрастырған екен. Ол да үлкен еңбекті керек ететін мәселе. Үшіншіден, интерпретация деген мәселеге де назар аударған. Яғни, екі ұлт өкілі осы фразеологизмді қалайша оны интерпретациялап жатыр, қаншалықты ол қабылдап жатыр, түсініп жатыр дегенге де осы жұмыс толыққанды жауап береді. Енді жұмыс аяқталған, бірақ сонда да ғылымның өзі тоқталмайды ғой. Бір алмас сияқты бір қырын ашсаң, екінші қырын ашылады. Алдағы уақытта монография жазарсыз, алдағы уақытта мүмкін бір үлкен жобаны жетекшісі боласыз. Сол кезде бір-екі бір ескертетін тұстар бар. Осыны назарға ұстасаңыз. Бірінші, жаңа мен сұрақты да бекер қойып отырған жоқпын. Бұл мынау трансформацияланған фразеологизмді қолданғанда міндетті түрде аянып білім деген мәселе, полное знание деп жүрміз, сол бізге көмекке келеді екен. Аянып білім болмаса, ол міндетті түрде ол ешқандай да интерпретация жасалмайды. Ал трансформация жасалған кезде, онда көбінесе прецеденттік феномендер болады. Бұл жерде жаңа өзіңіз айттыңыз, прагматикада жұмыста орын алады дегенше, прагматикалық пресуппозиция деген ұғымды да алдағы уақытта термин ретінде жабып осы мәселені қозғасаңыз деген менде ұсыныс. Одан кейінгі екінші мәселе мәтінаралық референция құбылысы деген бар. Жаңа мен айттым, оның өзі үшке бөлінеді. Біріншісі интерполяция, реминисценция және аллюзия деп аталады. Бұл жерде сөз құбылту, каламбур деген мәселелер қозғалады. Мысалы, кішкентай ғана пандемияның кезінде мынандай бір қолданыс бар болған. Маска дегізген, көріп бауыр жегізген дейді. Қандай қызық, көріп бауыр жегізген деп құдалықты айтады. Сонда бір кино шықты да, кинофильмсында асаба тамада деп мен осылай өткізем. Маска дегізген, көріп бауыр жегізген. Бір күлесін жүрек каламбур әдісі трансформацияланған. Қызық, бір ғана пандемия кезіндегі мен есіме түскені. Одан кейінгі мысалы, ақмол жегеніміз парацетамол дейді. Қараңызшы, ол да қызық. Ол да күл жібересінде, ол да мәтінаралық референция құбылысы. Осындай тілдік бірліктерді теріп, пандемия кезінде ағылшын мәтіндерінде болды ма екен осындай құбылыс? Болса, осыны салыстырса, ол да бір қызық жұмыс болады. Алдағы мүмкін бір үлкен жұмыстың бір материал ретінде көресіз деген менде ұсыныс. Екінші тағы ескерту айтайын деп тұрғаным, қазақша аңғартпасының кішкене стильдік қателер бар екен, соған мән берсеңіз. Мысалы, онлайн журналистика дейсіз да, онлайн журналистика дефис арқылы беріледі, 7 дефис. Өйткені бір ұғымды беріп тұр. Интернет журналистика деген сияқты ғой, сол жағын көріп отыр, сосын журналистика мәтіні дегенді қолданырсыз. Журналистика мәтін дегеннен гөрі медиа мәтін деген терминді қолдансаңыз, сол жақсы қабылданады. Журналистика мәтіні дегеннен гөрі бұқаралық ақпарат құралдары мәтіні, медиа мәтін, медиа дискурс деген ол қазіргі кезде актив белсенді қолданысқа ие терминдер. Жалпы жұмыс аяқталған, көптеген жаңалықтар бар. Қаншама қарап отырсам диаграмма бар екен, сурет, таблица, оның барлық ғылыми тұжырымның бір нәтижесі ретінде бағалауға болады. Сондықтан да Хасанова М.Т. публицистикалық мәтіндердегі трансформацияланған фразеологиялық бірліктердің қызметі атты диссертациялық жұмыс аяқталған. Сондықтан да авторын философия ғылымдарының доктор дәрежесін беруге әділ болады деп есептейміз. Назарларыңызға рахмет.
Рахмет, Қалбеке ханым. Алдап бересіз ба? Қысқаша алдарыңыз.
Today we are having a great discussion, a very interesting discussion related to the topic of Hassanova M.T. related to the transformed idiomatic expressions. And this very issue is close to me as I'm also studying in this very research area. The topicality of this very topic or relevance, we are making some kind of comparative analysis because we know that today the use especially mostly with the media text in comparison to the literary works, so that's why the role of transformed phraseological units is huge. Practical significance of this very work is related to the development, to its contribution to the media linguistics, discourse analysis, linguo-cultural studies, and it is considered as valuable work. There are lots of phraseological units nowadays, and to the question, why are these very idiomatic expressions or phraseological units transformed? We can give the answer that today, in order just to strengthen the pragmatic power, to shorten the thought or idea of, and the third is for a play of words. And the next significance of this very work might be the corpus that she has compiled with the help of the transformed phraseological units. And the next item that needs to be highlighted is the issue of interpretation. And we know that science is very dynamic and there are different angles, and in future I do really hope that you consider the moments and issues like transformed phraseological units use related to the background of a person who is using it. And moreover, it's also recommended to study the intertextual preference phenomena issue. They were given some kind of examples like etc. But it would be very interesting in future if you make some kind of comparative analysis related to the expressions or transformed phraseological units used in pandemic period. I do consider that this very work is completed and needs and might be served as a contribution to the linguistic sphere. And she might be awarded the degree of philosophy, doctor of philosophy. Thank you.
Thank you, Minas. Next, the floor is given to Metin Ikici, the temporary member of the Dissertation Council. Metin Ikici, a PhD professor, Ege University.
Thank you very much, dear committee members, dear the committee chair. My evaluation on the dissertation prepared at Al-Farabi Kazakh National University, and the dissertation titled Function of Transformation, Transformed Idioms in Publicistic Text Based on the National Corpora of the English Language by Hasanova Mulder Talgatovna for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy PhD in the educational program D02306 Foreign Philology, Western Languages. Hasanova Mulder Talgatovna's PhD dissertation, Function of Transformed Idioms in Publicistic Texts Based on National Corpora of the English Language, is a well-structured and relevant study that addresses an important issue in modern phraseology and media linguistics. The research convincingly demonstrates how idioms are creatively transformed in publicistic discourse and explains the pragmatic and stylistic functions of these transformations in contemporary communication. A key strength of the dissertation is its solid methodological base. The dissertator relies on reputable corpus resources and applies a consistent analytical approach that combines corpus evidence with functional interpretation. The findings are logically presented, supported by illustrative examples, and contribute to a deeper understanding of idiom variability variability and its role in media texts. This study also has clear practical value for teaching discourse analysis and further research in corpus-based linguistics. It is my opinion that the dissertation is an independent and complete scientific work that meets the requirements for doctoral research in foreign philology. Therefore, Kasanova Mölder Talgatovna deserves the award of PhD degree in the field of educational program 8D02306 Foreign Philology, Western Languages. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, dear professor. Dear members of Dissertation Council, if there are no comments or opinions, I propose moving to the final stage of the process. According to the established procedure, we shall now proceed to the vote on the dissertation. The floor is given to the academic secretary to explain the voting procedure.
Dear members of Dissertation Council and the official reviewers, please allow me to explain the voting procedure. The Dissertation Council shall conduct a secret ballot to adopt one of the following decisions. First, to confer the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. The second, to return the dissertation for revision, and to send the dissertation for redefense, and to reject the awarding of the PhD or doctor in the profile degree, or to reject the recommendation to the committee to award such a degree. A dissertation may be recommended for revision if the proposed corrections do not alter the essence of the research and relate only to minor textual remarks. If the dissertation does not comply with clauses 4 and 6 of the regulation, or partially fails to meet the principles listed in clause 5, it shall be returned for redefense. In case of violation of academic integrity or failure to meet the principle of scientific novelty, internal consistency and validity, the dissertation shall be rejected and the degree shall not be awarded. Official reviewers participate in the secret ballot, and their vote is counted equally with the votes of the members of the Dissertation Council. Please be guided by the provisions of this standard regulation during the voting process. I kindly ask everyone to turn off their microphones until the secret ballot is completed. Thank you.
Thank you so much, dear Kamal. I accordance with the procedure, we must now establish a counting commission to summarize the results. A proposal has been submitted to form the communication with the following members. Koppilova Kurpash Balapanovna, candidate of Philological Science, Associate Professor, Chair of the Commission. Yesenova Kalbekir Ömerbaykızı, Doctor of Philological Science, Professor, Members of Commission. Dosanova Albina, PhD, Associate Professor of the Al-Farabi Kazakh National University, Members of Commission. Do any of the council members have objections to the composition of this commission? No. Then the counting commission and its chair are empowered by consensus. We will take a short break for the secret ballot.
Services
almost?
Yes, but
Nabız gelmeydi.
Evet hocam, açıyoruz şimdi. Devam ediyoruz.
Dear members of the Dissertation Council, we now resume the session of the Council. The floor is given to the Chair of the Counting Commission, candidate of Philological Science, Associate Professor Huttileva Kulbaş Balapanlı'na now announce the results of the secret ballot.
Minutes of the meeting of the elected county commission of the Dissertation Council for awarding the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Educational Program. Composition of the county commission for Kırova, Kulbaş, Chair, Yisyanova Kalbike, member of the council, Hasanova admin, and the member of the council. A commission was formed to count the secret votes on the dissertation submitted by Hasanova М.Т. for the award of the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. The improved composition of the dissertation council consists of 9 members. 8 members of the dissertation council participated in the meeting, including 8 holders of doctoral degrees in the relevant field of the dissertation. Results of the vote on awarding Hasanova М.Т. the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in the specialty 8
D02-306 for philology, Western languages. Award the degree of philosophy or doctor in profile 8 voices. So send the dissertation for revision 0, recommend the dissertation for redefense 0, refuse to award the degree of doctor of philosophy or doctor in profile 0.
Thank you, dear Pashwal. You must now formally approach the decision of the dissertation council. I propose putting it to a vote. Who is against? No. Who abstains? No. Who is for? All. All members voted in favor. No votes against. The decision is adopted unanimously based on the results of the dissertation defense. The dissertation council unanimously adopted the dissertation to award Hасановой М.Т. the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, PhD in the specialty HD02-306 Foreign Philology Western Language. Next. Thank you, the members of the Accounting Commission for your work. Classification features of a dissertation. Conclusion is right. Okay. Classification features of a dissertation. First, the nature of the dissertation results. Okay. Second, the level of novelty of the dissertation result. 1. Third, the value of the dissertation results. High. Next, correspondence of the dissertation topic to the dissertation direction of the scientific development and government programs. 4.2. Next, the level of implementation use of the dissertation results having practical significance.
5.2 at the interdisciplinary level.
Okay. Next, recommendations of the expanded use of the results of the dissertation that have applied significance.
6.1 requires advanced use.
Thank you. The floor is given to Hasановой М.Т. Hasановой М.Т.
Thank you so much, dear members of the committee. We really appreciate it, and we are feeling ecstatic to hear these news. Thank you for your valuable feedbacks and the comments, recommendations, and review as well. In the future, we will work deeper, and we will try to dig deeper this topic, as it is all your recommendation, I think, is very essential to us. And I also want to thank offer all my congratulations and thank you my professors local Eleonora Zuymenova, Disevna, and the fourth one is Rafael Guzman Tirada. I'm a bit worried, so sorry for my words, but thank you so much again. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, dear Mulder. We wish you success. Thanks. Dear members of the Dissertation Council and the universities, thank you for your work. The Dissertation Council of the defense of the dissertation by Hасановой М.Т. is declared closed. Thank you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
This is goodbye.
Congratulations. Kutlu olsun.
Hocam görüşürüz.
Görüşmek üzere.